Hi friends, Xandra here, coming to you from the top of a mountain where it has just snowed and the landscape is beautiful. I'm answering the question, did Gandhi go to heaven? As I was hiking up here, I was reflecting on this, and I think there's a short answer and a long answer. The short answer is, I don't know. I have no idea, but I hope so. Indeed, God says that He does not wish that anyone should perish, and I definitely feel the same way. The longer answer, I think we have to go to the Bible for that and look at what Jesus said to people about what they had to do to get into heaven. I'm reflecting on a passage in Mark 10 when a rich young ruler asks Jesus flat out, "What do I have to do to be saved?" And Jesus answers him with two specific things. He says, number one, you have to sell everything that you have and give it to the poor. Number two, come and follow me. And I don't think that selling everything and giving it to the poor applies to all of us, but I do think that identifying and giving up our idols does. So a good question to ask yourself is, what do I idolize over God? And am I willing to give it up and follow Him? The second passage I was reflecting on comes to us in Luke, and towards the end, and it's when Jesus is actually hanging on the cross, and the thief who is hanging next to him turns to him and says two very significant things that I want to highlight. Number one, he admits that he's a sinner. He says, I deserve to be here and you don't. Number two, he says, remember me, Jesus, when you come into your kingdom. And I think that's significant because he's saying, Jesus, I believe that you are God, and I also recognize that I'm a sinner. So four things that we really have to keep in mind here. Number one, am I willing to give up my security, my comfort, the things that I'm going to instead of God? Am I willing to give those things up on His behalf? Number two, am I willing to follow Him? And number three, what do I think about Jesus? Do I actually think that He's God? And number four, do I think that I need forgiveness? And am I ready to ask Him for that? So in conclusion, I'm actually not sure whether or not Gandhi went to heaven. I really hope that he did. I hope to see him there. Now, if you are still curious about learning more about hell and why a good God would send people to hell, I would encourage you to stay tuned to this channel because my friend and colleague Rachel is going to be addressing that question shortly. So stay tuned for that answer. But yeah, it's just, climbing up on top of this mountain today. It was a lot of work, but I got to the top, and but salvation is not like that. Salvation is a mountain that you can't climb. You have to accept the free gift of Jesus, who plucks you up and puts you at the top. It's not something that we can earn. The Bible describes the throne of God as this powerful, glorious area that's surrounded by like a vast, almost infinite sea that's so calm it's like a sea of glass. How will we ever get to Him? How will we ever reach Him? We who are like grains of sand, our breath is, our life is like a breath of wind, and He is this eternal God, who created the universe. So I know, we can't earn our way there, but certainly Christ has made the way, and I would definitely take some time to reflect on that if you haven't already, and I'd encourage you to read through the Gospels. So thank you so much for your question. I'm not sure I was able to answer it 100% sure, but stay tuned for more answers. Thanks a lot, guys.